Hello, hi Salvatore. And let's see, Jose Antonio, hello.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Uh, why are you working in Sunday?
Oh, Sunday is a good day to work. Um, one of the days I don't have to work my other job.
You
So
you you should go out with your friends in Prague.
I should. In fact, um, I was gone for 2 weeks for the holidays, and I just got back yesterday, and my roommates arrived home about 30 minutes ago, and I haven't seen them. So once we're done here, I'll go spend some time with them. But it is good to be back. It's been about a week since my last verbling lesson, so it's good to be back. Um, and Happy New Year to everyone. Let's see. So, Gabriela, hello.
Hello, Stephanie. Have a nice new year for you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you as
Happy
well. And how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
I had an illness, but I'm better now.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was your illness?
I cut the cord.
Yeah, that's what I have right now.
Oh, get better quickly.
Yes, it's nice that I can teach without spreading any germs to any of you. So it's good. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
And Emily, hello.
Hi, Happy New Year, Stephanie.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well.
Thanks.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Aside from being a little bit sick,
Yes.
other than that, I'm great. It's been I've had 2 weeks off of work for the holidays. I went home to the United States for Christmas and for New Year's, and now I am back in the Czech Republic and starting teaching again tomorrow. So back to work. All right, and today's lesson, these lessons come from esllibrary.com, which Verbling provides for us, and the dialogues themselves. I started doing these lessons because I think dialogues and role play are important for language learning. They offer an opportunity to practice the language before you need it. So I think role plays and dialogues are very valuable. These ones are rather short, so I did put two together, and it still might be too short for us. We'll see how long it takes. But you should all get a chance to read both parts of the dialogue, and then we'll address pronunciation and vocabulary along the way. There are some vocabulary exercises as well that we might get to, But I'd like the focus to be on dialogues and using the vocabulary that's there and the pronunciation. So that's kind of where our lesson comes from. And because the dialogues are short, there are 2 dialogues that are related, going to the pharmacy and going to the doctor. Both of the dialogues should be in the class description, but I will also post them in the chat. We are going to start with the at the doctor's dialogue, because first you go to the doctor, and then the doctor prescribes you medicine, and you go to the pharmacy to pick up your medicine. So we're going to start with the doctor dialogue. We did have a full class, but I see 5 people in the chat right now to actually read the dialogues. So we'll go through each of the dialogues about 3 times so that everybody has a chance to read at least one part. And then if we have more time, we can read them again with changing roles as we go. So any questions before we switch over to screen share? All right, we're going to start with at the doctor, and our 2 characters are Dr. Barnes and Mr. Perez. So let's go to that. And just to keep track easily, why don't we start, if it's okay, if we start on my left, which would have Salvatore and Marius doing the reading first. So Salvatore, would you read the part of Dr. Barnes? And Marius, if you will read the part of Mr. Perez. And then, of course, ask any questions along the way, anyone.
Can you hear me, teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I have to read?
Yes. Yep. Go ahead when you're ready. And is that okay with you, Marius, that you'll read?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Perez. How are you feeling today?
I have a bad sore throat.
When did it start?
3 days ago.
Do you have any other symptoms?
I have a slight fever.
Okay, I'll have a look at your throat. I'm going to give you a prescription for an antibiotic.
How often should I take it?
Take 1 pill 3 times a day for 7 days. You'll probably start to feel better in a couple of days.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
Excellent. Thank you very much for going first. So it's a short dialogue, but very typical of what you might see and hear at the doctor's office. So let's start with any vocabulary questions. Does anyone have any questions on the vocabulary in this dialogue?
Does symptoms mean illnesses?
Yes, symptoms are like the signs of an illness.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might have a fever, and that can be a symptom of the flu. Or, for example, right now, I have an earache, so that's a symptom of an ear infection.
Okay.
Good question. Anyone else? Any other questions? Good. So vocabulary is not too tricky in this one. And Salvatore and Marius did a nice job with pronunciation. It sounded good. So why don't we go ahead and give our next two an opportunity. Jose Antonio, will you be Dr. Barnes? And Gabriela, can you be Mr. Perez?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Perez. How are you feeling today?
I have a bad sore throat.
When did it start?
3 days ago.
Do you have any other symptoms?
I have a slight fever.
Okay. I'll have a look at your throat. I'm going to give you a prescription for an antibiotic.
How often should I take it?
Take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days. You'll probably start to feel better in a couple of days.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
Excellent. Very nice. It sounded good. Excellent. Any questions now at this point? All right. Pretty easy vocabulary. So that leaves us with Emily needing to read, and she'll need a partner. Would anyone like to read a second time with Emily? Maybe Emily can be Dr. Barnes, and someone else can be Mr. Perez. Do I have a volunteer?
Yes, teacher. Me,
Oh,
if you
all right.
want.
Wonderful. Thank you, Salvatore. So Emily, you'll be Dr. Barnes, and Salvatore, you'll be Mr. Perez. Go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Perez. How are you feeling today?
I have a bad sore throat.
When did it start?
3 days ago.
Do you have any other symptoms?
I have a slight fever.
Okay, I'll have a look at your throat. I'm going to give you a prescription for an antibiotic.
How often should I take it?
Take one pill for 3 times a day for 7 days. You'll probably start to feel better in a couple of days.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
Excellent. Excellent. Sounds good. So this one was a really short dialogue. These dialogues, of course, these worksheets were designed to do in person. So if we were in person, we would change the lines. I haven't figured out how to do that for the online teaching format. But hopefully I will figure that out soon. There's a lot of alternate phrases here. And just because this is an important topic, why don't we take a minute to just read these alternate sentences and go over some of the vocabulary. And I want you to be doing most of the reading, so we'll just look at box by box if you can read the sentences there, and then if anyone has a question, we'll go over it. So Salvatore, would you read those sentences highlighted there?
How are you feeling today? What seems to be the problem? What's bothering you? What's the matter?
Excellent. So these are all different ways that the doctor might ask, how are you feeling today?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Bothering, what is it? Bothering?
Good. Bothering is when something is annoying or irritating to you. And in this case, it would be like a symptom of an illness. So what's bothering you? Well, my ear is bothering me. It hurts and it's clogged. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Any other questions on any of these four? Good. So when you go to the doctor, he might ask, how are you feeling today? Or he might ask, what seems to be the problem? Or what's bothering you? Or what's the matter? And those mean all the same thing in this situation. All right, excellent. Let's go down. Marius, will you read these sentences for us? And this might have better vocabulary.
Okay. I have a bad sore throat. I have a terrible cough. I have a migraine headache. I have a stomachache. I have a rash on my arm. I have a slight fever. It hurts when I swallow. I have a bad cold. I feel nauseated. I am vomiting. It's very itchy. I have the chills.
Excellent, excellent. So these are all symptoms that you might have or problems you might have with your body. Hopefully not all at the same time. If you have all of this at the same time, you must go to the doctor right away. So how about questions on the vocabulary on this one?
What is a rash on my arm?
Good. So a rash is like an irritated patch of skin. This might be best to show. So if your skin is red with bumps, there's some rashes. That's a rash. Good. Other questions?
What is itchy?
Itchy is when something, when you need to scratch. So if you get a mosquito bite or an insect bite, it might make you scratch. We say it's itchy.
Okay.
It itches.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the adjective form of it, to itch. Good. Any other vocabulary?
What does migraine headache mean?
Good. So a migraine headache is a very, very, very bad headache. With a migraine, the pain might be so bad that you can't stand up. You might vomit because of the pain. So it's just a very, very, very bad headache.
Okay.
Good. Good. And any other questions? All right. Good. We don't need to maybe go through all of these. Trying to pick out the ones that might be more useful for you. Let's look at this box and let's see who is next. Luis Alberto. Luis Alberto, would you read the sentences in this box for us?
Yes. It says, take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days. Take the cough syrup before bedtime every night for a week. Use these drops twice a day for 10 days. Apply the cream to your rash twice a day until it disappears.
Excellent. Good. So these sentences are all mandates or commands that the doctor might tell you. So you'll see the command form of the verb. Any questions on the vocabulary in this one?
Yes, what's rash?
Rash. Rash, again, is an itchy or red spot on your skin. So you can see there in my box, there's a rash.
Okay, I can see. Oh.
Yeah, not pleasant. Good. Any other questions on that one? Good. Let's see. So I think just one, probably we'll do these two more and then we'll move on to our second dialogue. I think this box might be useful for us. Jose Antonio, can you read this box for us?
Yes. I'm going to give you a prescription for an antibiotic. I write you a prescription for some cough syrup. Here is a prescription for a painkiller. Here is a prescription for some ointment.
Excellent. Very nice. So these are things that the doctor might say to you after looking at your symptoms. Questions on vocabulary?
Is ointment an illness?
Oh, nope. An ointment would be a medicine for an illness, usually for a rash. So it's like a cream, but maybe more of a gel. So a doctor would give you an ointment for your rash, probably.
Okay.
Good. Good. Any other questions?
How do you pronounce cough syrup or?
Cough syrup.
Cough syrup.
Yeah, so the Y gets a short I sound in this word, syrup. You almost don't hear it because of the R, so syrup. Syrup. Yeah. Good question.
Teacher, what is painkiller?
Good. So this is a compound word, painkiller. It's a medicine that stops pain or kills pain. So aspirin, ibuprofen. Yeah, painkiller. More of an everyday or a commonplace word for a medicine, pain medicine. Good. All right. And let's see. The last one here, we won't read them all. I just wanted to make a pronunciation note with probably. In spoken English, it won't usually receive all 3 syllables, so the doctor might say, "You'll probably start to feel better in a couple of days. You'll probably start to feel better by the end of the week. You'll probably start to feel better in 3 or 4 days. It will probably clear up in a few days." So it might sound more like probably or probably in spoken English. Probably or even sometimes it sounds like probably. Probably. Good. So any other questions before we move on to the pharmacy lesson? All right. So this dialogue is a pretty typical doctor's appointment. It starts with the doctor asking what's wrong. The patient explains what's wrong. The doctor looks at it and gives medicine and advice. Once you get your medicine, you have to go to the pharmacy. And so that's our second dialogue today. Let me pull up our pharmacy dialogue. Oh, I had it in the same tab. All right. And this dialogue, if I remember correctly, this one might be a little longer. So in this dialogue, we are at the pharmacy. So we've gone to the doctor, we've explained our symptoms. Now we're at the pharmacy getting our prescription filled. So we have a customer and we have a pharmacist. And And if it's okay, I'd like to start on my left again with Salvatore and Marinus. Salvatore, will you be the customer? And Marinus, will you be the pharmacist?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I'd like to have this prescription filled, please.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precautions?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you again for being our first readers. And let's just look at the language in the dialogue and go over any vocabulary. So does anyone have any vocabulary questions here? Or really any questions?
Yes. What does it mean, drowsy? Drowsy.
Ah, yes. Drowsy means to feel sleepy.
Ah,
So
okay,
it's,
okay.
yeah, normally we might say sleepy if we're not sick, but if we're taking medicine that makes us sleepy, then we call it drowsy. Good question.
What does precaution mean?
Ah, good. So a precaution is something you do to be careful. So in this case, the precaution is don't drive. You might break this word up. The pre means before. So these are cautions you can take to avoid trouble, or warnings. Warnings would be a good synonym. Yeah, precautions are like warnings, things to be careful of. Good. Any other questions on vocabulary or anything else here? All right. So again, it sounded good. Let's have our next two practice the dialogue. Luis Alberto, will you be the customer? And
Okay.
Jose Antonio, will you be the pharmacist?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to have this prescription filled, please.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I have.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Okay. Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precautions?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
Okay. When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. Good work, both of you. Sounded good. And let's do at least one more reading with Gabriela and Emily. Gabriela, will you be the customer and Emily the pharmacist?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
I'd like to have this prescription filled, please.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precautions?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent, very nice. Good, so we have a typical customer and pharmacist interaction. Picking up your medicine after the doctor. Let's look below. Again, it would be really nice to have this dialogue to be able to insert these other sentences. But I haven't figured out how to do that for our online format. If anyone has any suggestions, please do leave feedback after the lesson. I look at all the feedback I get. And I'm new to teaching online, so every little bit helps. If you know a way to do this dialogue better, I'd love to hear it. But I do think these alternate sentences have good vocabulary for us. So again, we'll do like last time, and I'll call on you to read a box, and we'll go over it. So this first box is what the customer might say. 3 different ways to say the same thing. Salvatore, would you read that box for us?
I'd like to have this prescription filled, please. Could you please fill this prescription for me? I need to get a prescription filled.
Excellent. Excellent. So these 3 sentences all mean the same thing, but they vary in politeness. So this one is probably the most polite, the second one. Could you fill this prescription for me? Could is a modal in this case that's used for politeness. So this is our most polite. Here's the next most polite, still using please. And then this one, depending on your tone of voice, could sound quite rude. Especially without the word please. So if you're saying, I need to get a prescription filled, it might sound rude if you say it with a dull tone or in a cold manner. Good. Let's look at the next box. The next box is things the pharmacist might say. Marius, will you read those for us?
Yes. You have to take 1 pill a day for 7 days. You've got to take 1 tablet with each meal. You should take 2 teaspoons before bedtime. You need to apply the ointment daily.
Excellent. Okay. So these don't mean the same thing. These are all different directions the pharmacist might give you. Are there any questions on the vocabulary in this one? Good, so just different directions for taking medicine. The next box is again something the pharmacist might tell you to warn you. Luis Alberto, will you read those ones for us?
Okay, is Baronov feel drowsy or?
Yep, yeah, you may feel drowsy.
Okay. You may feel drowsy. You may feel sleepy. You may get a headache. You might feel dizzy. You could feel a little nauseated.
Excellent, excellent. So these are all things that medicine might make you feel. Questions on vocabulary?
Yes, teacher. I don't understand the difference between may, might. I don't know.
Good, good, really good question. In this situation, they are the same. May and might often mean the same thing. There might be a little difference in politeness, but in this case, they mean exactly the same. So you could say, you might feel drowsy, you might feel sleepy, you might get a headache, you may feel dizzy, and could has the same meaning in this instance as well. You may feel a little nauseated, you might feel a little nauseated, you could feel a little nauseated. In this case, these are the modals, and they just indicate possibility, that it's possible that you'll feel drowsy.
Both are similar.
Yes, yep. And in fact, in these instances, they're exactly the same. So no difference in meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the time may and might have the same meaning. I don't want to say that and throw you off, but off the top of my head, in my experience, there is not much difference. Let's check real quick here and see what Grammar Girl has to say about it. She helps me with a grammar question. It looks like I don't want to spend too much time on it, but here. You remember to use might when the outcome is uncertain or unlikely, and to use may when something is more likely. Okay, so that's a distinction I don't really have in my lexicon. To me, may and might are exactly the same, maybe a little difference in politeness. But here it says you should use might when it's uncertain or unlikely, and may when it's more likely. So I don't know if that helps. I hope that helps. The modals are confusing. For me, in American English, they mean the same, and you would be understood the same, whichever you chose.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, really good question.
Difficult for me.
It is. The modals are a confusing part of English. Good. Good, really good question. Yes?
Sorry, what does nauseated mean, or nauseated mean?
Ah, yes, nauseated. If you are nauseated, you feel like you might vomit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that feeling you have before you vomit, or if you might vomit, you're nauseated or nauseous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good question. Good. All right. We have at least one more that I think will be helpful. Let's look at this one. This is advice from the pharmacist, or precautions from the pharmacist. I forgot where we were. I think Jose Antonio, was it your turn?
Don't drive when you take this medicine. You shouldn't drink alcohol when you take this medicine. Don't take this if you are pregnant or nursing a baby. Don't exceed the recommended dosage.
Excellent. Good. So these are all warnings or advice your doctor might give you, your pharmacist or your doctor might give you about your medicine. Any questions on these? All right. Well, good. So let's go on. Let's see. So those were the two dialogues. Again, these dialogues are really short, and I don't know how helpful they are to read over and over again. Pronunciation sounds pretty good to me. So if we go on in the lesson, there's some vocabulary matching. We won't do that because this is supposed to be a speaking class. But let's, here we have dialogue building. Here's where you might fill in the blanks with your own sentence. Again, I don't know how to do that with the online format. And then we have a write your own dialogue. I guess what would you like to do for the remainder of our lesson? Would you like to read the dialogue again, taking a part you didn't get to take last time? Maybe that's the most useful thing. So, does that sound okay for everyone? So,
yes.
Okay. All right. So why don't we read through one more time, and this time, Salvatore, you'll be the pharmacist, and Marius, you'll be the customer.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
I like to have this prescription filled, please.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precautions?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent. Very nice. Thank you. You both make excellent pharmacists and customers. So let's go on to Luis Alberto and Jose Antonio. Luis Alberto, this time you're the pharmacist, and Jose the customer.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to have this prescription filled, please.
Okay. Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precaution?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent. Very nice. Very good pharmacists and customers as well. Excellent. So let's go then to our last pair, Gabriella and Emily. Gabriella, you'll be the pharmacist this time, and Emily the customer.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Emily?
Oh, I'd like to have this prescription filled, please.
Have you taken this medicine before?
No, I haven't.
You have to take one pill 3 times a day for 7 days.
Are there any side effects?
Yes, you may feel drowsy.
What about precautions?
Don't drive when you take this medicine.
When will the prescription be ready?
You can pick it up about 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. See you later.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so everyone got to read both parts in that dialogue. And that's all the dialogues we have for today. But I'm wondering, do you have any questions about the topics, going to the doctor or being at the pharmacy?
No.
Anything related? All right. Well, we do have some time left. This is a important topic, I think, about my situation living in the Czech Republic. I don't speak Czech, and I am sick right now. So if I don't get better, I may have to visit the doctor, and it will be very challenging because I don't speak the language. So it's an important topic when you're living in a language. Important to learn. Let's see. Why don't we might as well, with our time we have left, we can do some of the vocabulary work. We do have a matchup. So here's some of the vocabulary. There's 10 vocabulary words from the dialogue: drowsy, nauseated, pregnant, precaution, dizzy, nursing, exceed, recommended, dosage, and ointment. Why don't we take a moment and just do some of the matching? So for number 1, drowsy, what does drowsy mean? And you can just enter your answer in the chat. You can type the letter of the matching definition. So what does drowsy mean? Go ahead when you have it and enter it in the chat. Looks good. Yep, the answer is F, sleepy. If you're drowsy, you're sleepy. Drowsy has a specific connotation to medicine, though. So if you say drowsy in your everyday conversation, people might think you've taken medicine. Good. How about nauseated? What does nauseated mean? Good. Looks good. Seeing mostly A. And the answer is A. Nauseated is feeling like you have to vomit. So if you are nauseated or nauseous, another word you'll hear is nauseous. That just means you feel like you are going to throw up or going to vomit. Good. How about number 3? That one might not be too tough. Pregnant. What is our definition of pregnant? And pretty easy. It is G, expecting a baby. Good. How about 4, precaution? Yeah. Good. Precaution is letter J. Taking care so something bad doesn't happen. Taking a caution in advance. Pre means before. And a caution, of course, is a warning or advice. Good. How about dizzy? What does dizzy mean? Yeah. Yep, this is our I. Feeling like everything is turning. If you're dizzy, you feel like the room is spinning around you. Good. All right. This one did not come up. Number 6 didn't really come up in the dialogue. It was in the boxes. But we didn't talk about it. So nursing. What does it mean to be nursing? Very good. It is letter D, a mother giving milk to her baby. So that can be important with medicine. Of course, anything the mother takes, if she's nursing, it goes to her baby. So important if you are nursing to talk to your pharmacist or doctor about any medicines. Good. And how about exceed? This is not a medical word. It's a useful word you might get to use soon. Looks like a lot of people are saying C, and that is correct. Be more than. So if there is something exceeds, then it's more, more than you expected or more than was anticipated. Good. How about number 8, recommended? Yep. Good. Seeing a lot of E suggested. Yep. Those two are synonyms there. Good. Number 9, dosage. Yep, it is H. The dosage is the specific amount of medicine to take. So if you have a bottle of cough syrup, the dosage might be a teaspoon. And our last one, ointment. Process of elimination, we see that it is B, a kind of medicinal cream used on skin. So you might put ointment on a rash or ointment on a bug bite, a medicated cream or gel. Good. All right. Well, I'm going to stop there. Thank you for your participation and your questions. With these dialogues, again, I feel like dialogues and role plays are useful for language learning, but they are hard to do with the online format. So if anyone has any tips or ideas or things that you've seen other teachers do to get more out of the role play or make it more useful for you, please do write that in the feedback. Any feedback you have for me, really. One of my New Year's resolutions is to work on my verbling lessons and try to make them more engaging and more conversational for my students. So I value your feedback. I read all of it. Please share that with me. And any last comments or questions, anything at all?
No.
No questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this lesson, I will do more in the near future. I am going to work a little bit on how to get more out of the dialogues, but you can keep looking. If you liked it, look on my profile page. You'll see more coming soon. So thank you all, and I hope to see you all really soon for another class.
Thank you, teacher.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.